And I was reading a post yesterday by somebody who was talking about being with a billionaire and what are a few habits that they learned. Billionaire was talking about how he protected his mental state from any outside hindrances. No matter who it is, your partner, your mother, your father, your kids, don't allow anyone to ruin your peace.
Welcome back to Life Biz Unfiltered. And today we're already on the fourth episode where we're diving into a topic that will either liberate you or trigger you or probably do both. Because if you've been stuck reading a book, journaling, habit stacking, listening to podcasts, and still feeling not enough, then this episode will explain why. So let's get straight into it. What do you think,
Love
Audrey?
it. Love it. Go for it.
Well, self-improvement is absolutely overrated. What are your
I
thoughts?
disagree.
I think we've all been taught that all different versions of us constantly needs upgrading and fixing, like our mindset, our habits, the discipline,
Yes,
even confidence.
correct.
But most of these things that I've heard over the last few decades, self-improvement feels like self-rejection in a way that, you're not enough. You need to
That's
really
a huge
work.
statement you're making. Wow. Self-rejection. Haven't looked at it ever that way, but I wouldn't agree to it. I wouldn't say it is self-rejection. I love self-improvement and I'm a big believer of you got to break through your subconscious behaviors. And if you continue to operate from that, thinking that you're reaching to your truer self or, the authentic self, but what if the authentic self is driven by trauma, is driven by subconscious behaviors that are not serving? Then what?
Well, here's how I would probably combat that. I stopped trying to improve myself. I'm really trying to start trying to understand myself. So when I feel small, when I hesitate to fully show up, I don't ask, how do I fix this? I ask, where does this belief come from? Right? Is this mine or is this inherited?
Mhm.
Is this the girl that I used to be, or is this the woman that I'm becoming? So most of the time, the belief doesn't belong to the current Shweta. It belongs to the old conditioning. So instead of improving, I am releasing. I return
I love
to
that.
back.
And
Yeah.
then I just had hanging on to that. What I love to do is to actually think of, is this belief serving the future self?
Mm.
Because if you stop there, then you are only making a decision as to, from the past and the present. But this may not help you to serve the future self, the future version of you. And day in, day out, I have conversations with clients and people, and I see they're limiting themselves on how big they can be,
Mm.
how huge they can grow, how an empire. And I myself know this because I remember several years ago, just when I met you 10 years ago or something, thinking about an empire, thinking about a big, lavish life was uncomfortable because my beliefs did not support me then, right? And I can see so many people doing the same thing right now. However, knowing that it is just a belief, it's a switch, and your subconscious beliefs, your conditioning, your parenting, or your subconscious behaviors may probably serve you. However, is that helping you to grow or is that helping you to play small?
So what you're saying is everything in life is driven by the subconscious, not the conscious. So us being visible, relationships, leadership, even money, they're all controlled by the subconscious.
Yeah,
So
I think so. Yeah.
okay, so not habits, not goals, not planners, not identity, what I was telling about?
Your habits help you to form the subconscious behaviors, right? You can override your subconscious behaviors. What are affirmations? It are the habits of self conversations, right? So if you're able to have conversations to yourself about your identity conversations, like I just had a conversation yesterday where my partner said that you're very careless because I broke something. I'm like, do I not care for you? And he's like, no, no, that's not related. I'm like, it is because you said I am careless. Now, if you say I am careless as an affirmation repeatedly, then you will start thinking that I'm careless about everything. I'm like, but I care. I care about people. So there are these little things that make you change your behaviors. There are little things that put affirmations or identity statements into you from your surroundings that can really block your improvement.
That can also go both ways because I feel like I was telling my son the other day. I was teaching him about three things. I was like, love yourself, love people, and love things. And then going back, it was always about, telling that, no, I care about people and things are blah, blah. And then I miss things and I misplace things and I do things with things. But yeah, I think it's again comes back to if your subconscious still believes things like I am not worthy, I shouldn't be too visible, I have to work twice as hard as other people, then no amount of, conscious self-improvement that people who are reading 50, 100 books, they still feel stuck. They're not able to override that programming. So self-improvement is like putting makeup on a wound.
No, I think it's like a goalpost. I love self-improvement because it helps you to know that you constantly can be a better version of you. You don't have to go by the identity that was there or that is there right now. There is a better identity you can create for yourself. So I think it is phenomenal to improve yourself. And I do that all the time. And that's why I like give me feedback. If somebody tells me you're behaving a particular way, I literally stop in my tracks, literally, and see, okay, is that projected that way? So it's a constant yearning to actually go beyond, to make better, create better beliefs, create better patterns of language, create better lifestyle and standards. So that is the way I operate from, and I think I don't see many people operating from that because um, many times you're told you're good as you are. I mean, of course you're good as you are, you're amazing as you are, and there is a whole thing around it that accept yourself the way you are. Yes, but accepting doesn't mean you stay there, right? Can we move from there? Can we be better than that?
Wow.
And I had a quote in my vision book, which I really, it's embedded, like decide, full stop. Is this the life you want to live? Is this who you need to be with? Is this what you need to be doing every single day? Is this the life? If not, then choose different, right? So to live a better life, you got to make different choices. And if you stay to the choices made by subconscious, then you will not. You will go towards the same habits, same behaviors. And I want to give a little example. I don't know if you, I have this habit of keeping things in the safe place, right? And then I never find them. And then I decided that I will try differently this time because I kept something in the safe place and I couldn't find it. So I sat and I'm like, okay, now I'm going to decide and I put it in the safe place. Where would be a safe place for this with a newfound awareness? Okay, like I've lost something, I'll decide. And I tried to keep that in the safe place and exactly I found it. So your brain wiring, right, subconsciously so strong that even though I didn't recollect keeping that thing in that safe place, when I thought about a safe place, I went back to the same place.
Mm.
So it's very interesting. I don't know, have you ever had that experience?
of a safe place with you 100 times. But I think more yesterday we went to the park with the boys and literally the sentence, I think they've probably been spending too much time with you because the my 2-year-old son is telling me, hmm, I choose to go on the slide, Mama. And I'm just staring at him. I'm like, you choose to go on the slide. Great. Amazing. And then he literally next sentence, I changed my mind. I want to go on the swings. I was like, wow, look at the language of this
Powerful
2-year-old.
language, right? Where he's taking responsibility. I mean, a choice you make is taking responsibility for the consequences of it. So that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
He chooses to make different choices too. So it's just wonderful listening to them. They're so full of energy and unfiltered moments all the time, which is great. And if you had to talk, because we're talking about the choices, we're talking about really getting back to this, consciously getting over all of the subconscious decisions that we are making. What has been your defining moments in this space? Something that's clicked. I know you talked about the word.
I continue to have defining moments every single day, right? And whenever I look at what I've created, so your reality right now is a manifestation of your thoughts from the past.
Mm.
Right. And I continue to look at what did I, and I was just sharing this that I remember as a kid, I was very driven by, having living in an apartment and because we lived in a house and where there was no current, no electricity, and they was off, and we were confined to that house space, and all the other kids outside, and they are having fun, but we're just stuck in. And I was like, yeah, I want to live in an apartment building so I can mix up and meet all the kids. Now, it didn't happen then, but it's happened now. And I'm like, wow. And now I'm craving for a house. And I'm like, okay, so I'm manifesting the thoughts now that will create the future. So on a daily basis, there are so many realizations that happen about, many times in the business, the journey is very hard. Like you go back to thinking, why did I even get into this? Right? And then it takes me back to the time when I was with mom and realizing that I wish I had a business which would give me time and freedom to be wherever in the world. And now I think, but they are gone. So what am I going to do with all that freedom? I could have sat there with them right now if I had these. However, something that brought me real peace was you're exactly, I read this quote, you're exactly where you need to be.
Mm. Good to know that, isn't it?
Yeah. And then choose to manifest something more for your life. But then again, really embrace where you are. Like
Mm.
just enjoy it. And on the Friday, I was having conversation with one of the BGM members, and she said, "How does it feel, Audrey, with so much that has happened in your life? And do you feel upset or do you feel scared?" And I was like, I wake up very, very grateful, like extremely grateful. It is so funny. Like yesterday, I was, yeah, we had these souffle pancakes at Chatston, and then evening we had this beautiful mango milkshake. And you should have seen my face, and I was actually watching myself literally. And I was in this absolute space of gratitude and peace and happiness. And I'm like, this is what life is about, isn't it? Just embracing where you are, embracing what you have, just loving the people around you and loving the expression of life around you. So, especially now that Advent is starting, let's dive into more gratitude.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think majority of the time, because we're so focused either in the past or the future, that we so fail to accept or even be in the present.
Yeah.
I was talking to a couple of moms yesterday, and they're like, oh, yeah, we are told to enjoy this phase in their life, but then I'm thinking of when they become teenagers, I'm thinking of the future. And that's where we go wrong, right? We're constantly thinking and being anxious about something that's not even happening. So,
Absolutely. One of our clients who was talking to it, like, oh, I'm so busy. And I'm like, how wonderful is that? Can you recollect the time when there was not enough clients, not enough work, and how it felt, and how you dreamt of the time when it would be so busy. And that's what I feel. I'm like, we're so busy, right? And I just feel so grateful. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good because this is what we dreamt of.
Mm.
And I remember like 2 years ago, I had the house after all the challenges that had happened, and I had all these whiteboards. I didn't know what to write there. Right now, the whiteboard is not if enough. It's not sufficient word. Like there is so much to write everywhere. And I'm like, and that also makes me really, really content and happy and grateful that I'm like, wow, I love what we have created. And then what is it going to be next year? Ooh, goosebumps.
Especially after most of it is ticked, and I'm like, oh my God, now could expand your vision even further, which is awesome. That brings us to something hot and absolutely unfiltered. I actually wanted to ask you, why do you think self-improvement keeps people stuck? Because I feel like people use self-improvement as avoidance.
I believe it goes into more perfection
Mm.
from self-improvement. To me, self-improvement is every small single step I take towards the next path and acknowledging it and celebrating it, right? And if you forget to do that, that's why people get stuck. I have to be perfect. I have to, do this well. No, just acknowledge yourself, that one calm moment that you took, that one, the place where you didn't snap. Like I was at Chadston yesterday and my battery died. So I wanted to drive behind my partner's car, right? And then it was obvious that somebody else's car would go like a T junction. So one alternate cars, and I wanted to go in. And then I told this car, stop, like with a hand gesture. And he got really pissed because it was his turn to go. He honked and he was like, go in an anger gesture. And I looked back at him with a lot of peace. I said, thank you. And I loved that. I'm like, wow. Like, I know it was wrong, but I had to because I would get lost otherwise. So I think giving peace back,
Mm.
celebrating that.
Well, something that a lot of people have asked me just in the last month is most of the habits really are trauma responses, and not helping with productivity. And I really did not seem to understand, even with the explanation. Probably still stuck in a limbo.
Habits are trauma responses, yeah. Because I can tell you one of the things which is very, very standout for me is which I have turned around is in childhood, if somebody was angry, I would get upset that, or somebody's tonality was stern, it would upset me that it is because of me.
Mm.
And then I would be tiptoeing around and, like operating from that space. Now I have learned to know that it is about them and bring peace to myself. Now that is a habit that has taken a very hard time to develop because it's operating when somebody has a temper, especially if you've had somebody critical or with a temper around you as growing up. You learn to tiptoe around them. You make it about yourself that you shouldn't say anything that will piss them or you shouldn't do anything that will further irritate them. And you change your behaviors based off that. But now I have
How
learned
did you make that switch? Like you were constantly walking on eggshells. And how did, like for anyone who's viewing this currently and looking to make a switch on really being peaceful about it's about them and not about you?
it's realizing that it's not about you. Their temperament, their behavior, their life is about them, for not for you to fix and not for you to be a catalyst to improve their mood.
Thinking about people pleasing,
Yeah,
because the mindset shift can be worked upon, but internal kind of calm, how do we
took a
derive that?
while. It took a while. It
Hmm.
took a long time. But now I'm able to make peace with it because it was little actions, awareness, and then action, acknowledgement and action, right? That's what we always follow, AAA. It was bringing awareness because at some point I used to snap. Then I started acknowledging myself. Okay, I didn't snap this time. And then I started observing peace. I'm like, okay, that is your stuff to deal with. I will remove myself from this and I'll be happy. For course, I gravitate towards that peace. For me, being in that peace state is very, very important. And I've realized that there could be external factors that could trigger you. And to avoid that, I make absolute efforts to avoid that, to not get bogged down by others people's emotions, by their triggers, by their behaviors. And I was reading a post yesterday by somebody who was talking about being with a billionaire and what are a few habits that they learn. And this billionaire, the comment in the comments, it was written how the billionaire was talking about how he protected his mental state from any outside hindrances, any emotional triggers that will get him down. And I think that's a phenomenal skill to learn for all of us. That not letting anybody around you trigger you and upset you and maintain your peace. Because
Mm.
that's extremely important this season, especially in December, right? To reflect on what you can take it to the New Year's. I think if you were taking one thing to the New Year, then take this, that let your calm and internal peace be determined by you and not at external factors.
Absolutely love it. And it's so important for us to take care of our peace. And I think what happens in the process, which most people do not understand, is the people who are so used to you walking on eggshells and being all very kind and loving and happy around them so that they don't get triggered when you flip the switch. They probably cannot fathom what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're like, But you were this and you were this person all these years, and now suddenly what happened?" So you come off as more standoffish or more like a person, oh, now it's all about you, is it? So
It is, isn't it?
there's a language switch for them, and then they can't believe that it's happening. And, they go through the whole cycle and the journey themselves of, disbelief.
Because we have to break the patterns, right, for them to realize their patterns. Because no matter
Absolutely.
who it is, right, no matter who it is, your partner, your mother, your father, your kids, don't allow anyone to ruin your peace, right?
Mm,
And those boundaries are extremely important around you because only then you can come from the space of love.
absolutely. And confidence doesn't come from improving, it comes from remembering who we truly are.
Now, again, it is improving for me.
We
I
can
can
debate
see how you're turning it around in words.
on. Well, next level, like the billionaire says, it requires an identity shift, not really having habit tracking,
Yeah.
which probably is not something that can assist you in this journey.
Well, habit tracking can be a catalyst if you track it properly. But again, you have to shift your identity.
Okay, talking about identity, are you ready for a rapid fire?
Done. Go for it.
Identity edition. What is the one identity belief that you outgrew?
One identity that I outgrew. I think playing it small.
Playing it small, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And it was,
Mm.
I don't know how it came as well because my mom kept telling me, you're going to be famous. You have to be famous. But I don't know where. I think I was rebelling her. Like, what do you think of you?
Well, I would say the same thing for you, but in a different way. So when we had the gym, all that you wanted to do was be behind the scenes. And I think that was the identity that I belong behind the scenes.
I'm still juggling with that.
It's just crazy, isn't it? Your subconscious and the way that you
So
wire things.
yesterday I was looking at Oprah's ad and I'm like, ooh, I was thinking Audrey and Shweta will be on all these big tours and we'll be going and talking around in different countries and cities. See, it's out there now.
There you go. Everyone watching, we put it out here.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What is the one subconscious belief that you've rewired?
Subconscious, so many. Every day. Which one do I say? Every belief. I think I'm a completely new person. And one of the most important, I would say, about being visible, right? Because I wanted to hide, and I'm out there right now. So that kind of stands out. And also public speaking, massive fears. Remember, I used to be in toilet, so I can't speak well, and yeah, it's huge.
One thing you're no longer apologizing for.
Ouch. This came again. If I have to really, really think, I'm no longer apologizing for removing myself out of the chaos and mess.
Mm.
Like, I wanted to fix everything. Now I am consciously not fixing everything. I'm still fixing things. But people's moods, I wanted to be the clown to fix people's moods, take a lot of responsibility, take a lot more responsibility. So everything was revolving in a way that I have to make everyone happy. But now I'm internally happy. So I let it be. Like I literally let it be. Even this morning, there was a little bit of a fuss. I just removed myself and I was happy.
And what is the one truth that you remind yourself of every day?
That there is no limit,
Mm.
that we are going big. And you know, one of the important shifts that has happened this year, especially, is I think I've shared this with you, that I have this big dream of going big. But if, say, something has to happen and it ends today, I'm still very happy where I am. So I'm not obsessed that I have to, you know, make $1 billion, $1 trillion, go on to Mars or do whatever. I am obsessed, but I'm not like it has to happen. If right now life has to cut short, I've lived a life of passion, I've lived a life of gratitude, and I'm really, really content with where I am, with the full of passion and working really, really hard. And I can tell that is the difference between us. And I see people living average lives is we are very, very, very passionate, and we're heading very fast to what we want to achieve. But I think at the same time, we're very grounded that if something has to happen, we embrace it.
We believe we are passionate, and yes, well, we are definitely obsessed. What is the one identity that you're stepping into in 2026?
That I'm the most hardworking human being I ever know.
Wow. Well, I'm definitely going to be next to you because I'm going to work smart.
I know you work a lot harder than I do. And that's why I'm like, okay, I got to surpass that. Yeah.
I love it. Well, your next level is definitely coming from returning to yourself. So, really ask yourself today, what belief do I need to release? Which identity do I need to outgrow? And who am I becoming? I want all of you who's watching this to write it, to say it, to own it, because we need to really let go of fixing, as Audrey mentioned, but choose us, choose remembering. Stay real, stay kind, stay unfiltered, and looking forward to seeing you at our next episode. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe as well, and share it with all the people who you think this would really benefit. Signing off, Shweta and Audrey. See
Bye
ya.
bye.